Multiple people were injured by a man throwing firebombs in Boulder, Colorado on Sunday in an attack the FBI and state police are investigating as an act of terrorism. Authorities say a 45-year-old man threw incendiary devices into a crowd near a demonstration to remember Israeli hostages who remain in Gaza. Several people were left with burns, and the suspect was apprehended.
It is clear that this is a targeted act of violence in the
FBI Special Agent Mark McCulloch shared details of the attack.
Witnesses are reporting that the subject used a makeshift flamethrower and threw an incendiary device into the crowd. The suspect was heard to yell, "Free Palestine," during the attack. The subject has been identified as Mohammed Sabri Solomon, and he's 45 years old.
In a post on X, Trump's Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller said Solomon had overstayed his visa and had been allowed to work by the previous administration. He added the attack was further evidence of the need to, quote, fully reverse what he called suicidal migration. Reuters was not able to independently verify the suspect's immigration status. Colorado Attorney General Phil Weiser and Colorado Governor Jared Polis have denounced Sunday's attack on social media. Polis said in a post it was, quote, unfathomable that the Jewish community is facing another terror attack here in Boulder. The attack comes shortly after last month's fatal shooting of 2 Israeli embassy employees in Washington, D.C. Tensions were already high in the U.S. over Israel's war in Gaza. There has been a rise in anti-Semitic hate crimes since Hamas's 2023 attack on Israel, according to Jewish advocacy group the Anti-Defamation League. Last year, the group tracked over 9,300 cases of anti-Semitic harassment and found among them a significant rise in assault cases. Meanwhile, incidents of conservative supporters of Israel led by U.S. President Donald Trump branding pro-Palestinian protests as anti-Semitic have also increased.
The Gordon B. Garrett Funeral Home has been serving the needs of Titusville and surrounding communities since 1965. Mr. Garrett believed in tradition and commitment to excellence, standards that have been passed down from one generation to now a new generation, who will work to provide you with a beautiful, lasting tribute to your loved one. When you need them, they will be there for you. This has been their foundation for almost 60 years. The Gordon B. Garrett Funeral Home, 303 North Washington Street in Titusville.
Anyone with a kind and generous heart and a little money can be a philanthropist. You too can be a force for good in our community, and the Crawford Heritage Community Foundation is here to help you make the most of your charitable giving. We've partnered with hundreds of people like you to make our world and our community a better place. You can give through us to support scholarships or any charitable organization or purpose. Whether you're interested in establishing a permanent endowment or adding to an existing fund, we want to be a part of your plan. Contact us when you're ready to make your mark. Together, we can make your contribution go further.
If you're looking for a professional massage therapist, Tranquil Moments Massage in Titusville is here for you. Ray and Rauch graduated from Slippery Rock University with a bachelor's degree in exercise and rehabilitative sciences with an emphasis in athletic training. Tranquil Moments offers a wide range of services, from Swedish massage to deep tissue, sugar scrubs to hot towel inclusion therapy. Like them on Facebook and visit their website to learn more about all the services they offer. Tranquil Moments Massage in Titusville.
Thinking about switching to 5G home internet? Think again. Unlike Zoom from Armstrong, 5G home internet is delivered by a cell tower. The further away you are, or the more devices connected to that tower, the slower your internet is. Cell phone providers also play favorites. When their network gets busy, cell phones win, and your home internet pays the price. Stick with Armstrong to get more data, more speed, and internet whenever you need it, not whenever they want. Armstrong, keeping you connected.
J. Gill Plumbing and Heating takes pride in being the premier heating and air conditioning service provider in the area. With over 30 years of experience, our highly skilled and certified technicians will work closely with you to address your heating and air conditioning repair, installation, or maintenance needs. Our team is dedicated to making your home the ultimate place of comfort. Call today to get a free estimate. We also offer financing options and membership opportunities that provide peace of mind and cost savings. Call J. Gill Plumbing and Heating today or visit them online 24/7 at jgillplumbingheating.com.
Sheer Design is Titusville's exclusive Paul Mitchell-focused salon. This full-service salon specializes in coloring, cuts, nails, and tanning. Owner Angela Saxon has over 20 years' experience as a Paul Mitchell professional. She and her licensed staff offer all cuts and styles for men and women of all ages. Call 814-827-0010 or stop in at 116 South Kerr Street in Titusville.
Hi, I'm Jasmine Levin, and I proudly own and operate Puppy Lovin'. Puppy Lovin' is a pet care salon dedicated to caring for your furry companions. We provide certified dog grooming services along with boarding and doggy daycare. Our facility is family-owned and operated and promise personalized care for every pet that comes through our doors. If you're worried about your furry friend being lonely when you're gone, we also have on-site personnel 24/7 just for their comfort. Follow us on Facebook and call or text us at 814-758-9259 to make an appointment today.
Share the fun of train travel and relive our country's oil history as you ride the OC&T through the valley that changed the world. Learn about the past while traveling on vintage cars. See a variety of wildlife with stops at Drakewell Park, Petroleum Center, and Oil Creek State Park. Arrive early and see the vast collection of train and railroad memorabilia at Perry Street Station. After the ride, enjoy a night's stay at the Caboose Motel. For seasonal specials or for more information, visit octrr.org or call 814-676-1733.
U.S. stocks ended a choppy session mixed on Friday, with the Dow up marginally, the S&P 500 flat, and the Nasdaq down about 0.33%. Despite the muted results, the S&P and Nasdaq registered their biggest monthly percentage gains since November 2023. Stocks were down early in the session after President Donald Trump issued a new veiled threat to get tougher with China regarding its trade agreement with the U.S. The indexes pared losses after Trump said he would speak to China's President Xi Jinping and hopefully work out their differences. Adam Coons, Chief Investment Officer at Winthrop Capital Management, says this type of tariff-driven volatility will likely last throughout the year.
Well, stocks today and really this entire week are continuing to be driven by the rhetoric around tariffs, if they're going to happen, how they're going to happen, are they legal, are they going to have to pay back any of the tariff revenue that's been generated so far. And so it's likely that the remainder of this year is going to be that same type of investment environment where investors will try to figure out what's going to happen next, and they'll get it wrong, they'll pivot, and then you'll see this capitulation in the market because just the overall back and forth volatility with no real resolution will just kind of exhaust the market.
Stocks on the move Friday included Regeneron, which fell 19% after its experimental drug for patients with a type of lung condition commonly called smoker's lung failed a late-stage trial. Shares of Ulta Beauty jumped almost 12% and touched a 52-week high after the cosmetics retailer raised its annual profit forecast after beating quarterly results. And shares of Palantir Technologies rose nearly 8% after the New York Times reported that President Donald Trump has expanded the data firm's role across the federal government.
All right, let's take a look at that weather forecast for northwest Pennsylvania on this Monday. Sunshine and temperatures in the low 70s. Mostly clear skies tonight with lows in the upper 40s. Tuesday, sunny, low 80s. Wednesday, mostly sunny, mid 80s. Thursday, scattered thunderstorms with highs in the mid 70s. And Friday, scattered thunderstorms with highs in the low to mid 70s. Meadville this morning checking in at 45 degrees. Cambridge Springs, Edinburgh at 42. Titusville 38. Franklin 40. Oil City 38 degrees here at 712. This is the Morning Drill. You're watching it on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Happy Monday to you.
Rise and shine. It's the Morning Drill. And play.
All right. It is the second day here in June, so a brand new month. And I know, I think you skipped a lot of things that is happening in June just to give yourself some space. And we didn't have enough time on Friday, so we'll get through like June is this month and this month and this month. And that's coming up here in just a little bit. How was your weekend?
It was good.
I asked you this like I wasn't with you.
Yeah, I know, right? I don't remember.
I got some I wasn't the only one. I noticed a lot of people like.
It's like a roller coaster with allergies and seasonal.
Well, the temperature's up and down, up and down, up and down, and rainy and nice, and so yeah. It. Anyways, I got this like head cold thing, and I think I did great all winter. I didn't like have any issues.
Yeah,
I don't think I was sick at all, was I?
Mm-mm. I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm thinking about it.
But yeah, no, now I am. And this week, I guess somebody flipped the switch and now summer's here.
It is, yeah.
70s and 80s this week.
Yeah. Somebody got on Mother Nature's good side.
Graduations are happening. That's exciting.
I know. Parties start. It's like.
We'll be streaming a graduation service, I think, at the end of the week, but it doesn't look like it's going to be outside. It's not looking good. I'm not going to make that call.
No. That's just tough.
It is, because it's so cool when it's outside.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. So we'll see. Maybe the weather will change by the end of the week. What?
Nothing.
I don't.
Feel like we have to go day by day lately.
Yeah, that's what I was saying to somebody yesterday. They were talking about it. They're like, oh, man, we're supposed to, like, really storm on Friday. Like, the weather could change tomorrow.
Yeah.
You could get to Wednesday or Thursday, and, it gets pushed out a little bit. And maybe that thunderstorm on Thursday or Friday is going to get pushed to, maybe Friday, Saturday, or Saturday, Sunday. You never know. So why worry about it until then? I know today's going to be beautiful, and we're going to be out covering baseball today.
Mm-hmm.
High school baseball still going on. State round now begins today. It's the first round, and they'll play Monday, Thursday, and then next Monday, Thursday if teams continue to win. So for that state title, a week from Thursday. So how about that? That's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
So, we're going to be down at Slippery Rock University. Slimy Pebble there, and bring you some high school baseball, later today. Looking forward to that. What else? Oh, we'll just stay on sports for a moment. And baseball action. Pirates couldn't hold on to their lead yesterday against the Padres. They fell to them 6-4. I think when I kind of glanced through, I think they were up like 4-1 or something like that in the sixth, maybe. But Padres coming back and winning 6-4. Other scores: the Rangers over the Cardinals 8-1. Brewers beat the Phillies 5-2. There's a 3-1 win for the Red Sox over the Braves. Orioles beat the White Sox 3-2. A's fell to the Blue Jays 8-4. Giants batting their way past the Marlins to win 4-2. Mets sliding past the Rockies 5-3. Guardians beat the Angels 4-2. It was a 1-0 win for the Astros over the Rays. Tigers beat the Royals 1-0. Cubs over the Reds 7-3. Diamondbacks with the win over the Nationals 3-1. Mariners with the 2-1 win in Seattle over the Twins. Yankees beat the Dodgers 7-3. Games today on this Monday. You got the Marlins and Rockies tonight at 6:40. Reds and Brewers at 7:10. Red Sox and Angels. White Sox and Tigers at 7:40. Then at 9:45, Giants host the Padres. A's and Twins. Dodgers and Mets tonight at 10:10. Pirates have the night off. You go to hockey, and the Oilers and Panthers will meet up on Wednesday. That'll be on TNT, True TV, Max, so you can find that there. NBA, you've got the first game with the Thunder and the Pacers in the finals. That's coming up again on Thursday on ABC at 8:30. Speaking of NBA, sad sign-off for Inside the NBA with Ernie Johnson, Shaq, and Charles Barkley and crew. One of the best shows on TV. I'm not a big... My basketball phase, I think, ended, I don't know, late 90s. And but anyways, it's still a great show. Very funny. They signed off on the NBA on TNT as TNT lost their rights to broadcast NBA games, but they're going to be moving over to ESPN and ABC next season, so you'll still be able to watch that show. But yeah, just kind of a sad thing, but great. Go back and watch some clips. Fantastic. Let's go to PGA real quick, and Scottie Scheffler, the winner at the Memorial Tournament in Dublin, Ohio, presented by Workday, and just another solid performance. Here's the crazy stat. The last, 8 or 9 matches where he's been ahead by 54, after 54 holes, so after 3 rounds, he has won. He is on that streak. So if he's ahead after the first 3 rounds, he wins. And that held true yesterday. Holding off Ben Griffin, who put in a valiant effort, but slid towards the, the back 9 of the final round yesterday, and the last couple holes for sure. But, Ben Griffin giving Scottie some pressure here and there, just couldn't hold on to it as Scheffler won the Memorial. So he is a back-to-back winner there at the Memorial. Tiger Woods lost to do it. He actually three-peated 3 times in a row winning the Memorial. So Scottie's got some pressure next year. Doesn't seem like pressure really bothers him that much. So that's kind of a look at some sports from over the weekend and coming up this week. So, yeah, how about that? Taylor Swift, apparently over the weekend, she bought her catalog of music back, or she got custody of her music.
I don't pay attention.
Well, that was a big story over the weekend. Good for her. I'm sure, if you're an artist, you want to own what you create.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much it in sports for now. You want to get to what we're birthdays and what we're celebrating here today?
It's my turn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Birthday time on the program, and it is the 2nd day of June.
Correct. Actor Dennis Haysbert is 71 today. Comedian Dana Carvey is 70.
No way.
We're getting old. Actor Wayne Brady is 53. Actor Zachary Quinto is 48. Actress Marina Barkin is 46. Rapper actress Aquafina is 37. Actress Brittany Curran is 35. And that is all.
Well, happy birthday to them. One of my absolute favorites from Saturday Night Live, Dana Carvey.
Definitely.
All right, from birthdays to what it is. Oh, by the way, happy birthday to you if today happens to be your birthday from all of us. So what are we celebrating here in June?
Are you ready?
Yeah.
It is American Indian Citizenship Day, Isabel Providence Day, June Bank Holiday in Europe. Yeah, not today here. Sorry. National Bubba Day, National First Ladies Day.
We know a Bubba.
We do. National I Love My Dentist Day, National Leave Work Early Day. So after this segment, I'm out. National Rocky Road Day, National Rotisserie Chicken Day, Platinum Jubilee Bank Holiday, Republic Day of Italy, Western Australia Day, America the Beautiful Week, Canadian Environment Week, Food Safety Week. Today is, oh, no, that's it. Do you want to do some of the June holidays?
Yeah,
Are you ready for
it?
Okay. I can't remember where we left, but holy crap, hold on. Holy cow.
I know it's a big list.
It is. I'm sorry. We left with Bedbug Awareness Week, Community Health Improvement Week, End Mountaintop Removal Week, National Business Etiquette Week, CPR and AED Awareness Week, National Garden Week, National Headache Awareness Week, Step Parents Week, Volunteers Week, African American Appreciation Month, Alzheimer's and Brain Awareness Month, Audio Book Month, Aphasia Awareness Month, Beautiful in Your Skin Month, Black Music Month, Cancer from the Sun Month, Caribbean American Heritage Month, Cataract Awareness Month, Cerebral Awareness Month, Celibacy Awareness Month, Child Vision Awareness Month, Children's Awareness Month, CMV Awareness Month, Cucumber Month, Effective Communication Month, Entrepreneurs Do-It-Yourself Marketing Month, Fight the Filthy Fly Month, Fireworks Eye Safety Month, Georgia Blueberry Month, Great Outdoors Month, Infertility Awareness Month, International Surf Music Month, Lane Courtesy Month, Mango Month, Men's Health Month, National Accordion Awareness Month, National Adopt a Cat Month, National Camping Month, National Candy Month, National Country Cooking Month, National Dairy Month, National DJ Month, National Foster a Pet Month, National Fresh Fruit and Vegetable Month, National Frozen Yogurt Month, National Give a Bunch of Balloons Month, National Home Ownership Month, National Iced Tea Month, National Lemon Month, National Microchipping Month, National Migraine and Headache Awareness Month, National Oceans Month, National Osteoporosis Month, National Pet Preparedness Month, National Pollinator Month, National PTSD Awareness Month, National Rivers Month, National Rose Month, National Safety Month, National Scoliosis Awareness Month, National Soul Food Month, National Steakhouse Month, National Zoo and Aquarium Month, Oral Health Month, Perennial Gardening Month, Pharmacists Declare War on Alcoholism Month, Potty Training Awareness Month, Professional Wellness Month, Rebuild Your Life Month, Skyscraper Month, Social Pet Working Month, Sports America Kids Month, Turkey Lovers Month, Vision Research Month, We Advocate Time, Consciousness, and Honesty, Women's Golf Month. And that's it. I did it.
Okay.
Boom.
You gonna play any golf in June?
Yes, I am.
Look at you. That was a fast answer.
I am.
Okay.
Okay.
Here's something for you here this morning. Exercise may significantly reduce the risk of colon cancer returning in patients after treatment, a new study has found. The late phase trial, published Sunday in the New England Journal of Medicine and presented at the annual meeting of the American Society of Clinical Oncology in Chicago, found that people who followed an exercise program after undergoing surgery and chemotherapy for stage 3 or high-risk stage 2 colon cancer could reduce risk of the cancer returning, a new cancer diagnosis, or death by 28%. We approve drugs that have the same and in some cases less of a benefit than this, said Dr. Julie Grallo, Chief Medical Officer. The Phase 3 randomized controlled trial included nearly 900 patients in 6 countries. The average age was 61, and about 90% of the participants had stage 3 colon cancer, which recurs in about 35% of patients within 5 years post-treatment. The researchers followed each patient for about 8 years from 2009 through 2024. After they finished surgery and chemotherapy, half of the participants were enrolled in an exercise program. The other half, the control group, was given a booklet encouraging them to exercise and eat well post-recovery. The ultimate goal of the exercise program was to get people to increase their exercise up to a certain amount each week from whatever they started out doing. The goal was sort of a weekly increase of 10 Met hours, a unit that measures the pretty much the equivalent of a task and what you burn, which is the amount of energy the body uses during a task, whether it's sitting at a desk or running at full speed. How many Mets workout expands depends on how intense or how long the workout is. But anyhow, working out, again, there's no cost to that.
No.
So, no, if you join a club, sure, but a lot of things you can do, just get out and start with a walk. But anyways, kind of interesting there to see the study. People who were not enrolled in the exercise program got between 5.2 and 7.4 fewer Met hours of exercise per week, the equivalent of 1.5 to 2.25 hours of brisk walking. It's not as simple as telling people to exercise, which I just did, because we know that many people getting an exercise habit is very difficult. According to the researchers here, research was the first to randomize people into exercise program who may not have otherwise exercised after cancer treatment. But anyhow, if you get a chance, get out and do that. But it was an interesting study. Excuse me. See, now my throat's dry.
Now you're all choked up.
I think that's the worst part. It's not like I'm like hacking because it's, it's just a dry throat. I got like a tickle in my throat.
You okay?
You're going to watch me suffer here.
Mm-hmm. With a smile.
Well, I got to take a sip of coffee here.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, it's still there. All right, we got news coming up. Good timing for that. Still to come much later this morning, our friends from Titusville City Hall will be joining us. We're going to bring you the latest headlines here this morning. We have... what are you laughing over there?
I'm sorry.
It's sitting right here. We'll have sports and your forecast coming up. Looks better this week, at least warmer.
It's gorgeous.
We'll have it for you after some business headlines. A lot going on in the world of business as well. This is the Morning Drill. You're watching it on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel.
Multiple people were injured by a man throwing firebombs in Boulder, Colorado on Sunday in an attack the FBI and state police are investigating as an act of terrorism. Authorities say a 45-year-old man threw incendiary devices into a crowd near a demonstration to remember Israeli hostages who remain in Gaza. Several people were left with burns, and the suspect was apprehended.
It is clear that this is a targeted act of violence in the
FBI Special Agent Mark McCulloch shared details of the attack.
Witnesses are reporting that the subject used a makeshift flamethrower and threw an incendiary device into the crowd. The suspect was heard to yell, "Free Palestine," during the attack. The subject has been identified as Mohammed Sabri Solomon, and he's 45 years old.
In a post on X, Trump's Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller said Solomon had overstayed his visa and had been allowed to work by the previous administration. He added the attack was further evidence of the need to, quote, fully reverse what he called suicidal migration. Reuters was not able to independently verify the suspect's immigration status. Colorado Attorney General Phil Weiser and Colorado Governor Jared Polis have denounced Sunday's attack on social media. Polis said in a post it was, quote, unfathomable that the Jewish community is facing another terror attack here in Boulder. The attack comes shortly after last month's fatal shooting of 2 Israeli embassy employees in Washington, D.C. Tensions were already high in the U.S. over Israel's war in Gaza. There has been a rise in anti-Semitic hate crimes since Hamas's 2023 attack on Israel, according to Jewish advocacy group the Anti-Defamation League. Last year, the group tracked over 9,300 cases of anti-Semitic harassment and found among them a significant rise in assault cases. Meanwhile, incidents of conservative supporters of Israel led by U.S. President Donald Trump branding pro-Palestinian protests as anti-Semitic have also increased.
Vehicle shopping? Make sure you check out Titusville Ford first. Shop our amazing selection of new and pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs in stock. Visit us on Route 8 in Titusville and see why our customer service is a cut above the rest. Titusville Ford, your hometown dealer.
Vanderhoof Heating and Air Conditioning provides residential and light commercial air conditioning services throughout the area. They understand the importance of your cooling system working properly. That is why you can trust in Vanderhoof to do the job right. Whether it's a non-working air conditioner, yearly maintenance, or a new install, you can be assured that we will solve your problem quickly and efficiently. Your home's air conditioning system is far more than just temperature. It's a complete comfort system that combines temperature, humidity, air quality, and above all, safety. Vanderhoof Heating and Air Conditioning in Titusville.
Marsh Home Center Furniture, Appliances, and Bedding is located at 305 East Spring Street in Titusville. Marsh Home Center welcomes you in to explore their growing inventory of name brand furniture, appliances, and bedding. Need something not currently in stock? No problem. Order from Marsh's online catalog and have it delivered right to your door. Visit Marsh's to see their entire showroom, ask questions, see what items are on sale, or just stop in and say hi. Marsh Home Center Furniture, Appliances, and Bedding, behind Giant Eagle in Titusville.
Looking for expert orthopedic care? Dr. Charlie Gates, a trusted name at Titusville Area Hospital, can help you regain mobility and a better quality of life. With years of experience and a passion for personalized care, Dr. Gates specializes in treating a wide range of orthopedic conditions. Whether it's joint pain, sports injuries, or orthopedic surgery, trust Dr. Charlie Gates at Titusville Area Hospital for your orthopedic care. Call 814-827-9770 today to schedule your appointment.
Welcome to Inspire Med Spa, the place you know and love for massages, Botox, laser resurfacing, and semi-permanent makeup. Now we're offering even more, including laser hair removal, tattoo removal, and hair rejuvenation. Our team is here to provide expert care in a peaceful, luxurious environment designed with your relaxation in mind. And with our newly added services, now you can get all your beauty services in one place. Visit Inspire Med Spa today, because you deserve to look and feel your best.
Interstate Pipe and Supply takes pride in providing superior customer service. That's why our dedicated employees are well trained and have the experience to offer friendly, quick, and reliable service and support. Need materials delivered to your job site? No problem. Interstate offers fast delivery from our 4 locations in Western Pennsylvania. We also serve Eastern Ohio, Northern Western Virginia, and Western New York. Service means business at Western Pennsylvania's premier pipe and supply company, Interstate Pipe and Supply.
Whether you want to go and lead in your craft in the trades, whether you want to go and be that nurse or medical worker and have a real impact on lives, or whether you want to go and help that business improve its bottom line, this is the place. And now is your time to go with confidence, to go with skill, to go succeed. The Education and Training Center at Pitt Titusville.
I know sometimes we get into it and it's just hard on both of us, but try to understand me more and I'll try to do the same. But you have excuses because you're old, so it's okay.
Listening is a form of love. Find ways to support your kids at sounditouttogether.org.
This Memorial Day, Community Chevrolet honors those who fought to save the freedoms we enjoy today. And the least we can do is save you more than $9,000 off America's favorite truck, the Silverado.
You have my undivided attention. Ooh, I smell hot dogs.
You can also save more than $5,000 off the Silverado 2500 and more than $2,000 off the 2025 Colorado.
I may be colorblind, but these deals seem red, white, and true.
Community Chevy's Memorial Day sale only during Military Appreciation Month at Community Chevrolet.
If you don't have steel, you don't have a country. You don't have a country.
U.S. President Donald Trump said on Friday he planned to increase tariffs on imported steel and aluminum to 50% from 25%. He made the announcement at a Pennsylvania steel plant, raising the pressure on global steel producers and deepening his trade war.
We are going to be imposing a 25% increase. We're going to bring it from 25% to 50%, the tariffs on steel into the United States of America, which will even further secure the steel industry in the United States. Nobody's going to get around that.
The European Commission said on Saturday that it strongly regrets Trump's announcement and that the EU is prepared to impose countermeasures. Trump also talked up a nearly $15 billion agreement between Nippon Steel and U.S. Steel, which he said, like the tariff increase, will help keep jobs for steelworkers in the U.S. He later posted on social media that the increased tariff would also apply to aluminum products, and that it would take effect on Wednesday. The U.S. is the world's largest steel importer, excluding the European Union, according to the Department of Commerce. As a result, the new tariffs will likely increase steel prices across the board, hitting industry and consumers alike.
U.S. stocks ended a choppy session mixed on Friday, with the Dow up marginally, the S&P 500 flat, and the Nasdaq down about 0.33%. Despite the muted results, the S&P and Nasdaq registered their biggest monthly percentage gains since November 2023. Stocks were down early in the session after President Donald Trump issued a new veiled threat to get tougher with China regarding its trade agreement with the U.S. The indexes pared losses after Trump said he would speak to China's President Xi Jinping and hopefully work out their differences. Adam Coons, Chief Investment Officer at Winthrop Capital Management, says this type of tariff-driven volatility will likely last throughout the year.
Well, stocks today and really this entire week are continuing to be driven by the rhetoric around tariffs, if they're going to happen, how they're going to happen, are they legal, are they going to have to pay back any of the tariff revenue that's been generated so far. And so it's likely that the remainder of this year is going to be that same type of investment environment where investors will try to figure out what's going to happen next, and they'll get it wrong, they'll pivot, and then you'll see this capitulation in the market because just the overall back and forth volatility with no real resolution will just kind of exhaust the market.
Stocks on the move Friday included Regeneron, which fell 19% after its experimental drug for patients with a type of lung condition commonly called smoker's lung failed a late-stage trial. Shares of Ulta Beauty jumped almost 12% and touched a 52-week high after the cosmetics retailer raised its annual profit forecast after beating quarterly results. And shares of Palantir Technologies rose nearly 8% after the New York Times reported that President Donald Trump has expanded the data firm's role across the federal government.
So investing this year has been a little bit exhausting, primarily because fundamentals haven't mattered as much as they should. And what I mean by that is, this is more narrative based when we talk about what's happening with the tariffs so far, because, seeing that transition into consumer prices, we're not seeing it. And that's obviously what we see in the PCE data and the CPI data. So right now, you can't say that it's actually having an effect that, from the standpoint that stocks were down in March and April because of tariffs, was really just on this kind of crystal ball method of investing, trying to figure out what the Trump administration was going to do next, how harsh it was going to be, and then ultimately what was going to come out of the other side of that tumbler from the standpoint of how it would affect consumers, who was going to eat those additional costs. And so it's likely that the remainder of this year is going to be that same type of investment environment. And that's probably what we're going to see a lot this summer, is just that typical, sell in May and go away. I don't think that means that markets are going to go down, but what it likely means is that volumes are going to be lower. You'll see kind of spikes up and down and higher volatility because of that lower volume. But at the end of the summer, my guess is we're probably going to come out of this and kind of be unchanged. And that's probably going to be because we're still going to have a lot of uncertainty around tariff policy, how it's used, how effective it is, and then how that corresponds with monetary policy and what the Fed does here in the U.S. Because that's really what markets are trying to understand is, are tariffs going to create inflation? And if they do, what is the Fed going to do if we start to see inflation tick up at the same time the employment market is weakening? So this has been a data-heavy week, and we are seeing some signs that the economy is at least weakening. But the problem is, we've been saying that, I feel like, now for the last 2 years. Every time some data comes through, it looks a little bit weaker, but not enough to push the economy into an actual downturn. We are seeing unemployment track upwards, and that's concerning. But once again, when you look at the, just the raw number, it's a sustainable unemployment number. And the same thing, we're seeing a contraction in GDP. That's not really a big surprise. And to see the consumer have to pull back, their I'm going to say it's a decelerating growth of spending. It shouldn't be a surprise either, because you're seeing, credit card balances are at all-time highs. Interest rates are still at all-time highs. So eventually there has to be some cutting, but it is way too soon to call this, data that's proving that the U.S. economy is heading towards a recession. I think it just gives us, that continued cautionary tale and maybe more defensive stance. But like I said, there is nothing that we're seeing that tells us that this thing is going to really start to take a downturn.
The world's airlines have cut their profit hopes for the year amid trade turmoil. Industry body IATA now expects a collective profit of $36 billion for 2025. That's $600 million down on the December forecast, made before Donald Trump returned to office. Since then, he's launched a global trade war and tightened border controls. That has fueled economic uncertainty, causing many travellers to cancel or postpone trips. Speaking at IATA's annual meeting in New Delhi over the weekend, boss Willie Walsh said the headline for profitability masked serious vulnerabilities.
Although our revenue forecast is down, our cost forecast is also down. And that leaves us with a net position which is broadly similar to what we had previously forecast at $36 billion US. Lovely figure, very big by any measure, but when you translate that into margin, it's a margin of 3.7%, and that remains a wafer-thin margin for the airline industry.
Delays in the delivery of new jets are another problem for the industry. Major jet makers Boeing and Airbus have both been dogged by a variety of supply chain issues, with the European firm warning last month that delivery delays would last for another 3 years. Such problems have forced carriers to keep operating older, less efficient planes. They've also faced rising prices for the dwindling stock of available spare parts. However, that has been offset by a drop in oil prices. IATA predicted a 4.7% drop in cargo revenues for the year, with tariffs dampening trade and cutting global growth.
The U.S. Supreme Court on Friday let the Trump administration revoke the temporary legal status of hundreds of thousands of Venezuelan, Cuban, Haitian and Nicaraguan migrants living in the United States. That swept away another obstacle to one of President Donald Trump's most aggressively pursued policies, mass deportation, and again showed the court's willingness to back his hardline approach to immigration. Trump's predecessor Joe Biden granted the status, known as immigration parole, to more than 500,000 migrants, giving them temporary legal permission to be in the United States for, quote, urgent humanitarian reasons or significant public benefit, and allowing them to live and work in the country. The Biden administration's aim was to deter illegal immigration at the US-Mexican border. By ending parole, the Supreme Court decision potentially exposes many of its recipients to rapid removal. As with many of the court's orders issued in an emergency fashion, Friday's decision was unsigned and gave no reasoning. 2 of the 9-member court's 3 liberal justices, Ketanji Brown Jackson and Sonia Sotomayor, publicly dissented. On May 19, the court lifted another judge's order preventing the termination of temporary protected status for more than 300,000 Venezuelan migrants. In some other cases, however, the justices have ruled that the administration must treat migrants fairly, as required under the US Constitution's guarantee of due process.
Pop superstar Taylor Swift said on Friday she had purchased the master recordings of her first 6 albums, giving her control of all of her music after a dispute with her former record label. Swift's masters had been sold in 2019, and she said she was not given the opportunity to buy them at the time. The singer re-recorded 4 of the albums with the subtitle Taylor's Version. Swift purchased the original recordings from current owner Shamrock Capital in what she called her, quote, greatest dream come true. No financial terms were disclosed. In a statement on her website, she said, I've been bursting into tears of joy at random intervals ever since I found out this is really happening. I really get to say these words. All of the music I've ever made now belongs to me. The 35-year-old singer recorded her first 6 albums with Big Machine label group, before leaving in 2018 for Universal Music Group. Music executive Scooter Braun bought Big Machine in 2019. Swift publicly accused him of bullying her and refusing to give her a chance to purchase her original recordings. In 2020, Swift said BMG had sold her music to Shamrock. Media reports at the time said the deal was worth more than $300 million. Representatives for Braun did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Swift praised executives at Shamrock, founded by Walt Disney's nephew Roy E. Disney, as being, quote, honest, fair, and respectful.
I know we were looking at bidding on that library of Taylor Swift's, but once it passed to like $200 and some million, we're like, hey, we're out. Or was that $2? That was probably $2. That's right. Once it passed $2. All right, weather. Plenty of sunshine today, and temperatures in the low 70s. Clear skies tonight with lows in the upper 40s. Tuesday, sunny, low 80s. Wednesday, mostly sunny, mid 80s. Thursday, scattered thunderstorms, mid 70s. Friday, scattered thunderstorms, low to mid 70s. Meadville this morning's at 47 degrees. Cambridge Springs, Edinburgh at 44. Titusville, 42. Franklin this morning, 43. Oil City, 41 degrees here at 7:52. This is the Morning Drill. You're watching it on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood channel. Glad you're with us here on this Monday morning, second day of June. Well, I thought this was kind of funny. This author of this article asked AI what Europeans think Americans from every single state look like, and then the results are both mean and hilarious, they say. So I'm going to bring up the state, and you tell me. So Wyoming.
Okay.
Okay, Wyoming. This is what AI... No. Sorry, that's not it. All right. This is... Sorry. Let me try this again. This is what AI... And again, this is Europeans plugging this into AI models. But according to those in Europe... Let me see if I can make this disappear. Hold on 1 second here. Okay. This is what Europeans think folks in Wyoming look like.
That's not bad.
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Virginia. Okay. This is, ready?
Okay. Oh, my Lord.
Yeah, I get it.
At some point in history, yeah.
Okay. Utah. Again, Europeans asking AI what folks in the States look like. Here's Utah.
Oh, my Lord.
Osman-esque.
Yeah.
Texas. You ready for Texas?
Oh, my Lord.
Uh-huh. Let's see. South Dakota.
You can't even see it.
Yeah. Well, just sprawling, right?
Yep.
Nothingness. Rhode Island.
Yeah.
A little bit?
I can see that.
Okay. Pennsylvania. If it was you putting in these parameters, asking AI what you think Pennsylvanians would look like, what do you think would generate?
It's hard to, because it's like we've got a range. I don't know. I'm afraid. Go ahead.
All right. This is what AI thinks. Again, the Europeans did this. What they think Pennsylvanians look like.
Oh, my Lord. Why? I was expecting Amish, not a kid from the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Well, hopefully eating some Hershey chocolate there, right? Let's see. You want to do another one?
Mm-hmm.
North Dakota. This is almost kind of like south a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Huh.
Montana.
I was going to say Florida.
Montana. Florida's, I don't think, on the list. Here's Montana.
Okay.
I'll check.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, kind of rugged, cowboyish, right?
Is California on the list?
Let's see. Well, here's Louisiana.
Oh,
I'm just kind of going through here. Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Not far off.
No.
On some of these.
Just Pennsylvania.
How about Iowa?
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, that's exactly what I.
That's yeah. Spot on right there.
Kentucky.
Oh, no.
I gotta say, not too bad. Here's Kentucky.
Oh, no. Could be worse. West Virginia is what, that's questionable right there.
Hawaii.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Georgia.
Yeah.
Okay, Florida. Oh, no.
I don't want to see it.
I can't
Am I
show
afraid?
this.
No, why not?
Here's Florida.
I want to see it. Oh, my God. Every story, one of my former classmates of high school, she lives down in Florida, but she reposts all these stories, and she calls it Only in Florida, and that's about it. That about sums up every person in the story.
Yeah, but we say that around here sometimes.
Yeah. What is that?
I think this is Delaware.
Okay. Maybe a couple hundred years ago.
Connecticut.
Oh, no.
Arkansas. Ready?
Yep. Oh, geez. Oh, my Lord.
Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Again, these are Europeans that asked AI to help them with this. This is Vermont. Very pretty state. Tennessee. I would have thought Tennessee would have maybe incorporated some music.
No,
and
moonshine.
not moonshine, yeah.
Just moonshine.
South Carolina. I almost don't want to stop. Just
I know,
kinda
right?
keep going to see here. Oklahoma.
I'm
All right, this
afraid.
is no.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit, huh?
A little bit. A while ago.
North Carolina.
Why?
Missouri. I don't know if I want to. Some people might be eating breakfast.
What is that?
I don't know that.
What is happening?
Some barbecue there or something?
Ew.
Kansas.
Yeah.
Indiana.
Yep.
Oh, Colorado. This is very adventurous, right?
Whoa, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
That poor guy.
Maybe slightly off to do some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Arizona. Bit wild and free there.
I know a lot of people retire there, so that could be spot on. We don't know.
West Virginia.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah.
Oh, my Lord.
He just wants his bacon, that's all.
Could have been worse.
Yeah. Our friends in Ohio.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll wrap up here with New York. There you go.
Of course.
There you go.
That's about
New
right.
York.
Yeah.
All right. So there you have it. You can search that story online if you want to see others, but there you have it. It's Europeans' take.
I'm a little sad about Pennsylvania.
According to AI, at least.
Yeah. They're going off of Hershey's chocolate. Is that it?
They are, yeah.
That's just weird.
This is the Morning Drill. You're watching it on Stream TV and the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel.
Thinking about switching to 5G home internet? Think again. Unlike Zoom from Armstrong, 5G home internet is delivered by a cell tower. The further away you are, or the more devices connected to that tower, the slower your internet is. Cell phone providers also play favorites. When their network gets busy, cell phones win, and your home internet pays the price. Stick with Armstrong to get more data, more speed, and internet whenever you need it, not whenever they want. Armstrong, keeping you connected.
Are you tired of juggling multiple pill bottles? Titusville Express Pharmacy has your solution, now offering compliance packaging. Your medication sorted and sealed by dose, making it easier than ever to stay on track. In a hurry? Take advantage of our convenient drive-through service. We also offer free local delivery for those that qualify. Titusville Express Pharmacy, where convenience meets care. Visit us today at 401 West Spring Street in Titusville. Simplify your medication routine with Titusville Express Pharmacy.
Poppy's Equipment and Storage Rental in Pleasantville is committed to providing our customers with exceptional service while offering quality rental equipment. Poppy's is now an authorized steel dealer with everything you need to have for sawing and cutting or mowing to digging. And of course, Poppy's has tents, tables, chairs, heaters, generators, barbecues, and more for your next wedding or get-together. Need firewood or propane? No problem. Whether you're in construction or a weekend warrior, reach out to Poppy's about your next project. Poppy's Place on the Tenesta Road in Pleasantville. Community Connect Federal Credit Union, serving Crawford, Venango, Forest, and Warren counties. Their mission is to provide quality, low-cost, and personal financial products for the growth and security of their members and families. Stop in, call, or visit our website, communityconnectfcu.com, and click Join to get started. Community Connect Federal Credit Union, 1050 East Spring Street in Titusville.
For a unique shopping experience with great gift ideas, decor, and so much more, come check out what Titusville Market Square's nearly 100 vendors have to offer. Featuring unique items from local agribusiness, craftsmen, and vendors, we also offer products from 4 regional dairies, including a full line of Titusville dairy products. We carry a complete line of Amish wedding products, local honey, and maple syrup, as well as nostalgic Dog and Suds root beer and Fiestada pizzas. Don't forget to pick up fresh Clark's Donuts, delivered daily. Titusville Market Square, the new name in one-stop shopping.
Who can solve this equation? Ooh! Me. Anyone else? Fine. Jake from State Farm. Again.
Right. It's the personal price plan theorem. If you bundle your home and auto, that can equal an affordable price just for you.
Bundling. Just another way to save with the personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Fat Chad's Brewing is Titusville's premier dining destination, offering fine dining served with a cold beverage and great conversations. Try our new menu items, the T-bone steak, homemade meatloaf dinner, or soft shell crab tacos. Our pasta entries and sandwiches are just as popular. Try the new lobster ravioli, shrimp and scallop pasta, or our popular Asiago chicken. Don't forget about our famous burgers or fish sandwich, all served with fresh cut fries. Come in Saturday nights for Wild Game Saturdays. For good food and good times, it's Fat Chad's Brewing in Titusville.
For over 11 years, Triple M Roofing has been providing Amish quality craftsmanship and work ethic that you can rely on. Pole barns, decks, porches, siding, and almost all roofing needs, Triple M Roofing will get the job done on time without sacrificing quality or the promise to deliver within your budget. Call today for a free estimate, 814-964-0472. Waiting is what you'll do with the other guys. Getting it done is what we do. Amish owned and operated, we're Triple M Roofing.
U.S. stocks ended a choppy session mixed on Friday, with the Dow up marginally, the S&P 500 flat, and the Nasdaq down about 0.33%. Despite the muted results, the S&P and Nasdaq registered their biggest monthly percentage gains since November 2023. Stocks were down early in the session after President Donald Trump issued a new veiled threat to get tougher with China regarding its trade agreement with the U.S. The indexes paired losses after Trump said he would speak to China's President Xi Jinping and hopefully work out their differences. Adam Coons, Chief Investment Officer at Winthrop Capital Management, says this type of tariff-driven volatility will likely last throughout the year.
Well, stocks today and really this entire week are continuing to be driven by the rhetoric around tariffs, if they're going to happen, how they're going to happen, are they legal, are they going to have to pay back any of the tariff revenue that's been generated so far. And so it's likely that the remainder of this year is going to be that same type of investment environment where investors will try to figure out what's going to happen next, and they'll get it wrong, they'll pivot, and then you'll see this capitulation in the market because just the overall back and forth volatility with no real resolution will just kind of exhaust the market.
Stocks on the move Friday included Regeneron, which fell 19% after its experimental drug for patients with a type of lung condition commonly called smoker's lung failed a late-stage trial. Shares of Ulta Beauty jumped almost 12% and touched a 52-week high after the cosmetics retailer raised its annual profit forecast after beating quarterly results. And shares of Palantir Technologies rose nearly 8% after the New York Times reported that President Donald Trump has expanded the data firm's role across the federal government.
All right, let's take a quick look at that weather forecast for northwest Pennsylvania. Plenty of sunshine expected today with temperatures in the low 70s. Clear skies tonight with lows in the upper 40s. And for Tuesday, sunshine and low 80s. Low 40s here at 8:09. This is the Morning Drill. You're watching it on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Joining us this morning, Titusville City Councilman Gavin Griffin. Hi, Gavin. How are you this morning?
Good morning, Luke. How are you?
Good to see you. How was your weekend?
Long, very long. Most of the time I come in here complaining it was too short, but I think this one I'm glad to be back. So.
Oh, okay, good. Well, here we are.
Yes,
brand new month.
That's right. My favorite month, not least of which because it's my birthday month. So
nice.
We'll be celebrating at the end of this month also a Monday. So we'll have cake and ice cream, I'm sure, at 8 in the morning.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll get right on that. I was looking to see if somebody else from the Morning Drill crew was here to write that down, so I don't forget to do that. A lot going on. I think, a lot of people are kind of waiting for summer to start in terms of temperature and sunshine. Yeah. This is sort of the week for that. We had some nice weather yesterday, but Yeah, there's a lot to be involved with. Kind of give us a rundown of what's going on.
Yeah, there certainly is. As we warm up into the summer months here, it's not only going to be Oil Festival come August, but also our summer concerts in the park on Monday nights. We also have lots of special events coming up. But we also at the city are very excited to begin a new program. We have the Youth Corps program. That's for high school and college students to come intern with the city and some of our community partners to be able to embrace our community ideals through public service. So they can serve in a range of different areas, including public art, public works, administration, public safety, you name it, we've got it. And so we're very hopeful to get that up and running here a week from today, and we already have a couple of applicants that we're excited to place.
Too late for somebody to get involved, or is there time to do that?
Hey, we're taking applications, and as you see on the screen there, they're available on the city's website as well as at that QR code. Takes you directly to an online form to fill out. That comes to myself and our administrative secretary, and so we will review those applications and get back to you.
And if somebody has questions about it, or they want to learn more, can they stop into City Hall or call and
Absolutely,
ask?
Yes. They can stop in at the city manager's office anytime. Neil and Casey are both, they've been working with me on this since the beginning. They can also shoot us an email or give us a call at 814-827-5300.
And what's the end goal here? What are you hoping comes out of this? And again, it might be, that one of those programs that catches on and builds over the years, but what are some goals that you would say, okay, yeah, it was successful because of, maybe this or this happening?
Well, part of my inspiration in starting this program was my own background and my ability to get involved from a young age in high school as a junior member of city council. And so I wanted to give young folks in our community, not just high school, but also college students, the ability to get involved in the way that I did. Have that opportunity to serve, and not only to serve, but to learn while they do it. And so the hope is we can show them that there's a range of different things they can work on right here to make that great difference. And we certainly hope that they'll stick around, whether it's in elected office or as an employee, but that's the end goal.
You're not that far removed from high school. You just finished up another year at college.
That's right.
What's the conversation? Do you think students at that point, do they know what they want to do, or do you find that some of them want to experience some things to get ideas on what direction to go in life?
I certainly didn't anticipate going into public service and politics when I was in high school until I began in the junior council program. And so I think it's just a matter of having that opportunity and that experience to be able to know what you'd like to do. We have someone right now that he wants to be a police officer. He's going through NPRC, doing some classes at Pitt, but his summer is open, so he's going to be taking this internship and getting credit for it as part of his education. But the hope is to show that you can do all of that right here in your own community.
Just out of curiosity, had you not gotten involved and gone this direction, what were you thinking?
Originally I wanted to be a doctor, and then I wanted to be a lawyer, and then I decided both of those take a heck of a lot of schooling, so I decided that this was the way to go.
Okay.
But no, public service is something that I feel very strongly about, and so giving that opportunity to other young folks is important.
Well, it's a great opportunity, again, especially if you're coming out of school or, you got the summer off and you're thinking, I don't know what I want to do. Don't sit around and do nothing. You can obviously learn from something like this experience. And I assume, Gavin, part of it, too, is you get to meet people, you get to talk to people, and be inspired by what others are doing, I guess.
Yeah, certainly. And, one of the things that I talked with a friend of mine over the weekend about is he was a junior council member last time we had a cycle, and he was very interested in politics, but then he, from that, decided that he was more interested in the administrative side, and he actually formed a great bond with our public works director, and so he's hoping to come back and serve with Scott down at Public Works for the summer. And so you never know what you're going to get out of it, but you have to, when you come in, turn in an application, you have to pick 2 areas of interest that you would like to work in. That way, if you try one and you don't necessarily like it, we can move you to the other. And if there's not enough to keep you busy at one, we can give you a few days at the other one so that you're getting a fuller range of experience.
One of the things I absolutely love about Mike Rowe's Dirty Jobs TV show is the places he would go and you would think, oh, I guess I didn't realize that was a career that you could get into. But yeah, obviously somebody has to do this.
Yeah.
Not that every job was dirty, but there's a lot of professionals out there that are doing things that you might not go, oh, yeah, I didn't realize this takes place. I'm not saying there's a lot of that here, but for some people, it might be, oh, I didn't realize you did this or you took care of this.
Yep.
So it's a great opportunity to kind of see what it takes to run a city.
Yeah, certainly. And, keeping in line with the dirty jobs, Scott and I have talked several times over this process about the need for wastewater operators. So that's something nationwide that they are struggling to get folks to work in wastewater. And so the hope is to get somebody down there to see what it's about. And, it doesn't smell as bad as you would think it would. But, we're hoping that we find young people and help them embrace their passion while helping them, serve our community.
What's the other side to this? If somebody takes part in that and they go, boy, I could see myself doing this, are people there in place to say, okay, this is what it takes to do this? You need to go to training or school, or just, hey, keep working here and eventually you can get, is that going to be part of it?
Yeah, certainly. So in the program, any intern that we have, their direct supervisor will be somebody in the department where they work. So it may be, in the fire and police department, the chief, or, down at Public Works, our director. And so they're going to have daily interactions and conversations with that person, and they're going to be encouraged to be open and express their ideas or concerns or ask questions. And so the hope is that they will have that path that they can follow, so that, even here, when we know that in 5 years we're going to have somebody retire, or in 2 years we're going to have someone retire, and you can tell them, hey, keep an eye out on that, go get your schooling and come back because we'd love to have you.
Yeah, that's great. And, the other side of that is if maybe you are going off to school and studying something that's not related to this looks good on a resume. And again, it just exposes you to something else that you might not have been familiar with, where, again, down the road you can say, hey, I know a little bit about that.
Yes, absolutely. And I believe we have an applicant that you know very well, who may be a relative of yours, a good friend of mine, who will be serving a couple hours a week with us at City Hall. And so we're hopeful that, we can show him some of the ways that government works, and he can use that in his field that has nothing to do with city government or administration. So
yeah, well, that's great. Again, not too late to get involved with that. Call the city and get started.
That's right. Absolutely.
Okay. And on the junior council side of things, is that a program that's going to continue, do you know? Or?
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely. And it's still going strong 3 years after I went through it. We have two outstanding young women right now, Jenna Crocker and Gracie Sampson. Gracie's going to be graduating here at the end of this week. It's hard to believe. And then she'll be staying on through the summer like I did when I was there, and then she'll be going off to school. But Jenna plans on sticking around for her senior year next year, so we're glad to have her and look forward to plenty more work to come.
That's great. All right. Hopefully summer's here now with the weather. I saw a couple bikes down at Founders Park, I think yesterday. But a lot going on. Oil Heritage Bike Share, that's been announced. And, it's just a great opportunity to kind of get out and ride the trails.
Yeah, and, like I've said countless times, recreation is our greatest asset around here, and we hope that people will come out and enjoy it, and particularly with the CATA Bike Share program. We're looking forward to having that in place throughout the summer, and, I know I'll be taking advantage of it for sure.
Well, it's only a couple bucks an hour to rent, but that saves a lot of people having to haul bikes around. And, if you're making plans to come up for the weekend, again, you don't have to worry about loading your bikes up on your vehicle. You can come and enjoy it. And this is also coming off Roughneck Gravel Roubaix last weekend, which big success. And Adam Deem and his team, once again, did an awesome job. Is that exciting for the city to be able to help facilitate an event like that?
Absolutely. Every year that he's had it, I've had the chance to go down on Saturday morning and watch as some of the riders take off. And it's an outstanding event. He brings plenty of people into town, not only riders, but also their families who come in and enjoy our local restaurants and shops, and really, it's an unofficial start to the summer season.
All right. You're watching the Morning Drill on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Councilman Gavin Griffin with us here this morning. City Hall looks absolutely beautiful, by the way. I know it was decorated for the Memorial Day weekend, but it looked
that's
great
a good
driving.
Picture.
Yeah, it looked beautiful driving past. Splash pad, I think, unofficially open, but
I don't know if you'd want to go out there right
no.
now, but maybe tomorrow or the day after, it'd be plenty of fun to go out. Yeah, that opens up every year on Memorial Day weekend, and we haven't necessarily have the greatest weather since then, but that'll be rolling. It's open now, so if you're willing to brave the cold this morning, go out and enjoy it.
That's great. And the hours 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. through Labor Day.
Yeah, so that's something that you can enjoy all summer long. And again, it's free, so anyone is welcome to go and enjoy it. I look forward to seeing you out there, splashing around, Luke.
Probably not going to happen. The tennis courts, I'll take advantage of getting out and maybe playing some tennis this summer. But so, real quick, there's some great pictures that posted. I don't think we've had a chance to kind of recap since well before Memorial Day, but again, this is more on the bike share program. And those bikes can be found where? Through the parks, or how does that work?
Yes, so we have some. They're obviously Roberts Grove, Founders Park. There's one down by Brown Street Bridge. There's a couple of others throughout town, so they're available. Yep, there you go, Burgess. They're available at plenty of different places, so we hope that people will take advantage of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, I checked the countdown. We're like 67 days away from Oil Festival.
Wow.
Is that crazy?
It's flying by. Yeah.
So going back to the recreation side of things, I know there's been a lot of discussion on like the Airbnbs and all of the stuff that helps sort of accommodate those visitors coming into our area. We, our friends from OC&T Railroad and Drakewell Museum have been on, and visitation is, those numbers are up, where they were pre-COVID, and people are getting out. People want to take advantage of what's around them. So making sure sort of the environment's in place for people to be comfortable and stay here is extremely important. Kind of give us your thoughts on all of that and how much more we need to do to help facilitate all that.
Well, I think you're absolutely right. Airbnb is something that's extremely important when it comes to that outdoor recreation, because if we're going to have 500 additional people in for a weekend like we did with the Gravel Roubaix, we want to make sure that they're staying in the city and enjoying everything that we have to offer right here. Very often they stay in Oil City or Franklin, and nothing against our friends to the south, but we would like to keep that here in our community.
And likewise, when there's big events down there and they run out of room, they're coming to stay here. So.
Absolutely, yes. So we have a few Airbnbs in the city currently, but anybody that's interested in starting one, I encourage them to stop in at City Hall, and we'll get them squared away.
All right. Last meeting was, what, a couple of weeks ago now?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Time flies.
It does. Crazy. Kind of give us a quick rundown. I'll bring up just a couple things. You, I think, got minutes from the Titusville Housing Authority.
Yep.
There are some boards that might need somebody to serve. Is that true?
That's right, yes.
Okay.
So we have still some openings on some city boards, authorities, and commissions. And so if you're interested in serving, we certainly encourage you to apply. You can find the application and those vacancies listed on the city website at cityoftitusvillepa.gov.
Under old business, acceptance of the 24 audit report.
Yes, it's a pretty hefty report, but we all had a chance to read through it and give it the okay.
All right, honestly, do you read every page?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Same with the budget and the church-run mediation.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
There are plenty of, there's stacks like that on my desk at home. But
are there big numbers associated with that, obviously?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, certainly. So church-run, I know we talked about $67-ish million. to do a box culvert system. There's a smaller program that we're looking at putting into place over a longer period of time that would do bank remediation. So that would be, rather than digging up all of our streets and diverting the water, it would be expanding the bank and making it green so that it's a little easier to soak up the, kind of channel chute.
Yeah. I'm sure it's also discussed, like if you have a major flood every, let's say, 100 years or whatever, is it worth $67 million?
Yeah. No. And, we try to balance that. Is it economical to be able to, put that much money into something? But we have seen recently, you talked about a big flood every 100 years, but recently it's been more like every 10 years or so we see this problem occurring again. And it brings a lot of damage into not only city infrastructure, but to residents and homeowners.
And the other part of that, though, is I think being more cognizant of the of what's in Church Run and people doing a better job of removing shopping carts and debris from trees and limbs and all this stuff that kind of clogs things up. So I think the city and I think homeowners are doing a much better job of looking in their backyard going, okay, that shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
Let me make a phone call or, let's get it out of there.
Yeah, absolutely. And we encourage folks to do their best to clean up their sections of the stream, but we also are, every time that we get heavy rain, we're on the phone. Hey, Neil and Dustin, is everything looking all right? Are we having any flooding issues yet? Which is something that we're going to be working on through our emergency management committee, which was passed finally last meeting. So that's a committee of some city officials and folks from city agencies that'll work together to put together a comprehensive emergency disaster management plan and work together to address those things on the ground as they happen.
Also, revision of the CDBG fund activities, Shady Park. I know you guys have talked about maybe getting some work done there.
Yes. So Shady Park was listed a few years ago on CDBG projects. So that's something to upgrade the electrical in Shady Park. That's $52,000 project. So it's a big ticket item, but we just had to transfer some money over from the Perry Street Bridge project, which is obviously still, sitting there, not being done.
There.
Yeah, well, the money is sitting there for something that very often, we find is not going to happen. So we took the money from that and put it towards this project to balance the remainder of that cost.
Also, some paving projects should be getting started here.
Yes, that's right. So not only our city paving here at the end of this month, but we also have Ed Meyer. So that's a big project we're very excited for. Anyone who's ever used the Ed Meyer complex has probably, moaned and groaned about the potholes that you can lose a car in down there. So we're looking forward to having that paved, and that should be done here July.
All right. So that's the only thing, like when you're traveling, you forget, oh, it's so great. Finally we're into the summer months. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Paving. No, I'm not saying here in town, but
no, of
you
course.
Go outside. PennDOT's pretty active.
I did a little traveling this weekend, and even this weekend, which wasn't necessarily great weather, they were out doing plenty of road work. So it certainly, I think they say that the state flower is a traffic cone,
yes,
if I'm not mistaken.
It's so beautiful, though. It really is.
That's right.
All right, Gavin, folks have questions, want more information, how do they get it?
They can stop in at City Hall anytime. They can email us. Our emails are all on the city website, and give us a call at 814-827-5300.
Next meeting is when?
This Wednesday, 6 o'clock at City Hall.
And it's the first Wednesday of the month, which means roundtable, right?
That's right, at 10 a.m., also at City Hall.
All right. Thanks, Gavin.
Thank you,
Good
Luke.
to see you.
The Gordon B. Garrett Funeral Home has been serving the needs of Titusville and surrounding communities since 1965. Mr. Garrett believed in tradition and commitment to excellence, standards that have been passed down from one generation to now a new generation, who will work to provide you with a beautiful, lasting tribute to your loved one. When you need them, they will be there for you. This has been their foundation for almost 60 years. The Gordon B. Garrett Funeral Home, 303 North Washington Street in Titusville.
Anyone with a kind and generous heart and a little money can be a philanthropist. You too can be a force for good in our community, and the Crawford Heritage Community Foundation is here to help you make the most of your charitable giving. We've partnered with hundreds of people like you to make our world and our community a better place. You can give through us to support scholarships or any charitable organization or purpose. Whether you're interested in establishing a permanent endowment or adding to an existing fund, we want to be a part of your plan. Contact us when you're ready to make your mark. Together, we can make your contribution go further.
If you're looking for a professional massage therapist, Tranquil Moments Massage in Titusville is here for you. Brian Rauch graduated from Slippery Rock University with a bachelor's degree in exercise and rehabilitative sciences with an emphasis in athletic training. Tranquil Moments offers a wide range of services, from Swedish massage to deep tissue, sugar scrubs to hot towel inclusion therapy. Like them on Facebook and visit their website to learn more about all the services they offer. Tranquil Moments Massage in Titusville.
Thinking about switching to 5G home internet? Think again. Unlike Zoom from Armstrong, 5G home internet is delivered by a cell tower. The further away you are, or the more devices connected to that tower, the slower your internet is. Cell phone providers also play favorites. When their network gets busy, cell phones win, and your home internet pays the price. Stick with Armstrong to get more data, more speed, and internet whenever you need it, not whenever they want. Armstrong, keeping you connected.
J. Gill Plumbing and Heating takes pride in being the premier heating and air conditioning service provider in the area. With over 30 years of experience, our highly skilled and certified technicians will work closely with you to address your heating and air conditioning repair, installation, or maintenance needs. Our team is dedicated to making your home the ultimate place of comfort. Call today to get a free estimate. We also offer financing options and membership opportunities that provide peace of mind and cost savings. Call J. Gill Plumbing and Heating today or visit them online 24/7 at jgillplumbingheating.com.
Sheer Design is Titusville's exclusive Paul Mitchell focused salon. This full-service salon specializes in coloring, cuts, nails, and tanning. Owner Angela Saxon has over 20 years experience as a Paul Mitchell professional. She and her licensed staff offer all cuts and styles for men and women of all ages. Call 814-827-0010 or stop in at 116 South Kerr Street in Titusville.
Hi, I'm Jasmine Levin, and I proudly own and operate Puppy Lovin'. Puppy Lovin' is a pet care salon dedicated to caring for your furry companions. We provide certified dog grooming services along with boarding and doggy daycare. Our facility is family-owned and operated and promise personalized care for every pet that comes through our doors. If you're worried about your furry friend being lonely when you're gone, we also have on-site personnel 24/7 just for their comfort. Follow us on Facebook and call or text us at 814-758-9259 to make an appointment today.
Share the fun of train travel and relive our country's oil history as you ride the OC&T through the valley that changed the world. Learn about the past while traveling on vintage cars. See a variety of wildlife with stops at Drakewell Park, Petroleum Center, and Oil Creek State Park. Arrive early and see the vast collection of train and railroad memorabilia at Perry Street Station. After the ride, enjoy a night's stay at the Caboose Motel. For seasonal specials or for more information, visit octrr.org or call 814-676-1733.
U.S. stocks ended a choppy session mixed on Friday, with the Dow up marginally, the S&P 500 flat, and the Nasdaq down about 0.33%. Despite the muted results, the S&P and Nasdaq registered their biggest monthly percentage gains since November 2023. Stocks were down early in the session after President Donald Trump issued a new veiled threat to get tougher with China regarding its trade agreement with the U.S. The indexes pared losses after Trump said he would speak to China's President Xi Jinping and hopefully work out their differences. Adam Coons, Chief Investment Officer at Winthrop Capital Management, says this type of tariff-driven volatility will likely last throughout the year.
Well, stocks today and really this entire week are continuing to be driven by the rhetoric around tariffs, if they're going to happen, how they're going to happen, are they legal, are they going to have to pay back any of the tariff revenue that's been generated so far. And so it's likely that the remainder of this year is going to be that same type of investment environment where investors will try to figure out what's going to happen next, and they'll get it wrong, they'll pivot, and then you'll see this capitulation in the market because just the overall back and forth volatility with no real resolution will just kind of exhaust the market.
Stocks on the move Friday included Regeneron, which fell 19% after its experimental drug for patients with a type of lung condition commonly called smoker's lung failed a late-stage trial. Shares of Ulta Beauty jumped almost 12% and touched a 52-week high after the cosmetics retailer raised its annual profit forecast after beating quarterly results. And shares of Palantir Technologies rose nearly 8% after the New York Times reported that President Donald Trump has expanded the data firm's role across the federal government.
Joining us this morning is Gary Glunt, who has been providing some great advice on just financial intelligence and savings and all sorts of things. Gary, good to see you this morning.
Good to see you again, Luke.
Yeah, I'll tell you, there's so much out there in the world, and it was just crazy to hear what happened yesterday with the tariff talk and $2 trillion flooding Wall Street almost, and it's amazing.
It is, the stock market, right? Okay, this has nothing to do with really what we're talking about today, other than just talking that. But in the short term, the stock market does wild, crazy things, right? And a lot of it is based on information that goes out, right? What's happening in that day, that type of thing. And for us lay people, right, to try and mess with that, right, to try and, we call it time the market, right, it's impossible, right? Good luck, and that kind of thing. So you see these swings up and down and that kind of thing. Now, the thing though is if policies are put in place that the stock market doesn't like, right, and they continue to stay in place, then you have long downturn trends, right, and that can lead to needless to say, us having problems with our retirement, right, and our 401ks and 403bs and that type of thing. But the fluctuations in the stock market happen all the time.
Do you think the national talk, though, can help spark interest in doing the things that you have control over and your financial planning and looking at what accounts you might want to move money into?
So I guess the answer to that is not on a short-term basis, right? You don't want to make a decision based on something that just happened one day,
I guess what I'm saying, if you watch golf on TV and you go, well, okay, it's time for me to get out and play golf. Do you look at the markets and go, boy, yeah, you know what? I got to make sure I'm investing in.
Oh, so no,
okay.
I don't. Okay, but only because I'm not that guy, right?
Yeah.
I'm not. So I have friends that will sit there and do that and say, hey, I should be doing this right now. I should be doing that right now. Every financial vehicle that we have has a purpose that people use it for, right? And so you have to decide. You have to know what the purposes are, or should know what the purposes are, and then decide how you want to use that, right? So when I look at the stock market, I'm a long-term player, right? So, the stock market to me is a place for me to earn wealth over time. And so that's how I use it. Now, I know there's other people that use it much differently than that, and that kind of thing. So, you have to, so me, no, I like, whatever it does today, I don't care about. Whatever it does next week, I don't care. Now, when I got close to retirement and I had to make a decision what I was going to do, okay, now you worry about it, right? Now you have to look and say, hey, are things happening that I need to be aware of, and do I need to make a change, right?
It's like farming or advertising. You're planting seeds for, success down the road.
Absolutely. If you're using it that way, that's how I use it, right? I use it to plant the seed so that now that I'm retired, now I have what I need, right?
Yeah, you're not planting potatoes today because you want to have a potato tonight.
Exactly. That's a great analogy.
So that kind of leads into, summer's around the corner, and you've got kids that are going to be starting a job or graduating, starting a job, or just, a summer job till school starts up again. Here's an opportunity to start gathering those seeds, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So, again, there are going to be a lot of things going on, right? So graduation parties are going to be happening, right? Kids are starting, may have already started their part-time jobs, may going to be starting those part-time jobs. And in the world, right, there's certain things that you need to look down the road for, right? Okay? And if you wait too long, things get harder, right? So it's so funny. I'll talk, if I get a chance, like if I was teaching 14, 15-year-olds, right? I'll talk to them about retirement. And they're like, Mr. Glenn, I haven't even started working yet. What should I worry about retirement for? But if you learn how money works, not only should you be thinking about retirement and doing something about retirement because of the advantages of the three things we talked about, right? Time, amount, and rate, right? They have time on their side. So let's use it, And so now you got these kids, right? Some of them are starting jobs and graduation parties, right? They're going to get money for that. Now they have to decide, hey, what am I going to do with this? And one thing that I try to say every time I make a financial decision is this: is it going to cost me money or is it going to make me money? Okay, and so. One of the, when I'm talking to, and this goes for anybody at any age, right? But especially when I'm talking with kids, I'll pull out their cell phone. I'll say, all right, this cell phone, is that thing costing you money or making you money? Right? And I tell them, if all you're doing is, kissy wissy, huggy wuggy on the, and that, texting and stuff like that, and how you doing, how am I doing, that thing's doing nothing but costing you money. It's not making you a dime. Now, can you turn that into an asset that's making you money? Absolutely. All right. And so now we get this graduation money, right? Okay. So graduation parties are going to start happening. And now we can go spend it and buy things that cost us money, right? Or we can use it to our advantage and have us make us money, right? And so, and again, this is a learning process. If you're sitting there right now going, well, geez, I don't know what things to do, well, then don't spend it, right? And put it like we talked about. That's what that savings account's for, right? Let's stick it over there till we know what we want to do with it, right? For something that's going to make us money, So if I was thinking about this on the way here today, right? And thinking about how money works through investing, right? And it's not the only way to make money, right? But it's one of the ways. And I thought to myself, you know what? If I was young again and somebody had talked to me about this when I was younger, I would have taken the first 5 years of my life and I wouldn't have spent a dime. I would have kept every dime I could and I would have slammed that money away for 5 years. And I can't even imagine I can't imagine. That's how you
figured
would
this
be,
out, did you?
Yeah, you would be when you hit 50, 55, you would be sitting so pretty it would be ridiculous, And so So now it says, all right, we got our first paycheck, right? Okay, let's start with the paycheck. All right, want to talk about, first of all, young workers. Okay, and this applies to more workers, but it's specifically for young workers. Okay, and that is this: when you go to get a job, you fill out a W-4 form. Okay, and there's some rules on that W-4. In a W-4, for those of us who aren't sure what the W-4 form is, that's the form that tells your employer what they're supposed to take out of your paycheck for federal taxes, okay? And one of the things that happens is a lot of kids go in, right? They got their part-time job, all right? And the key number here for this year is $15,000, right? So, and $15,000 is the standard deduction for 2025 on your federal taxes, which means if these youngsters aren't making over $15,000 in a year, they're giving money to the federal government for free. And they're going to get it all back when they file their taxes at the end of the year, okay? And so, you know, what they need to know is if they know they're not going to make over $15,000, you can write exempt on a W-4 form. And now you get to use your money for the year, okay? Well, now here comes the decision, right? So now I get my money, right? I do my exempt thing on the W-4, okay? And now they put that money in my paycheck. So I can spend it, or I can do what the federal government does with your money, right? And that's invested, right? So now, instead of the government being able to invest that money, we can now invest that money into something, right? And so that's the decision that now they can make because they've given themselves that opportunity to be able to do that, all right? So then, well, what do you do with it? Well, you look for, the first thing you do is you don't do something rash, right? And that, again, if you don't know what to do with it, don't go just spend it on stuff, right? Another thing that I say to youngsters, and it's true, okay? Every time they spend $1 on something that is just something, right? Like a bottle of water or a pack of gum or whatever, okay? You just threw $1 million away. Yeah, and they look at me like, what are you talking about? You just threw $1 million away, you know? So the math works out, and it goes something like this. If you put $1 a day away into, we talked about mutual funds, right? Something earning 10%, okay? And people say, oh, you can't get 10%. Yes, you can get 10%. You just got to look for it, right? Okay? I think we showed the one Vanguard index that has averaged 11%, right, over the last, since 1967, I think it was. And I think that's what the date was, or maybe it was 77. And you know, so if you take $1 a day away, put it away for 60 years and a 10% investment, you got $1.something million. So every time you spend that $1 on something that is just stuff, you have thrown away $1 million, right? And so then kids say, well, geez, I don't want to wait 60 years. Well, neither do I. You know, if you're let's say 18 years old and you wait 60 years, you're 78 years old to have $1 million, right? Well, now you throw more money at it, you know? So instead of $1 a day, let's put $2 a day away, right? Let's put $3 a day. And I asked the youngsters, I say, how many of you could do $2 a day? How many of you'd blow $2 a day on something else, right? Now that time period just got shorter, right? And so by a lot, right? And you had $3 a day, and now it just got even shorter, right? Yeah. And so, you know, and so we need to learn what we can do with our money, right? And that's just one thing you can do, right? The key is don't throw it away, right? Yeah. You know, and so let's take graduation, right? So now graduation's coming up, okay? And I don't know, you know, I'm sure every kid doesn't get a bunch of money, but you get something, right? Yeah. And again, like, it doesn't have to be a ton of money, right? $1 a day is not a ton of money. $2 a day is not a ton of money, right? So now you have that graduation party, right? And now you get, let's say you get the chunk, you get that 500, you get that 1,000, right? Whatever. Now you are, my gosh, there's your $1 a day. right? So a buck a day is what, $365, right? So you've just done $2 a day, you're a little less than $3 a day at graduation, right? So now let's do our graduation money plus let's throw a buck a day away in. Now we're doing things, right? Now as they say, make your money work for you, don't work for your money, right? Okay, and but there's a ton of things that they can do. That's just an easy one, right? Okay. Now there's a lot more to it. That's the basic gist of it. And when I say a lot more to it, there's bits and pieces that you learn about, right? It's just about learning. Okay. So looking here and at, let's see, I think on our, do we have the chart? Did the chart come through? That
should be on the back, I think, of your page there.
Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. So when it comes to financial decisions, right, what you want to do is you want to look at your options and say, what should I do? Like, what's the best option that I have, or what's a option that I have, right, that helps me? It doesn't have to be the best option, okay? So example. So let's say that kid gets that money for graduation, all right? Let's say it's $500 or $1,000, okay? And I'm sitting here and I'm a kid. What are some kids going to say I'm going to do with this money? What's one thing that they might say that they want to do with this money?
At this stage, put it towards a car.
Right? Maybe put it towards a car. What else? We're thinking. Some of us are thinking college and going on to college. Buying what?
Books,
right? So you look at these options and you say, okay, so you list your options down. All right, so, well, I can take that $1,000 and I can put it towards my tuition. I can take that $1,000 and I can go buy a car with it. I can take that $1,000 and I can go blow it on stuff, right? I could take that $1,000, I go buy books, right? And I could take that $1,000 and I could buy a new speaker system, right?
It's like 2 books, by the way.
It's exactly. And by the way, on those lines, and that I don't know how it is anymore because I don't have any kids. Number one, but they have a lot of the used book places. Use them, right? And that one of the nice things about the used book thing is, if the person who had them before you actually was a good student, they're already highlighted, right? So so now you have to check it out, right? So you go to your first class and you look and see what the student before you highlighted, and you see how that matches up with the first test. And if it matches up, you're like, yeah, and if it doesn't match up, you're like, well, I guess I got to do my own reading. That's
if you get the right edition.
Exactly. Right?
Hey, real quick, you're watching The Morning Drill on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Gary Glunt with us here this morning.
So, all right, so here we go. So now I'm looking at, all right, how am I going to pay for college? All right, and I'm just going to use this as an example, right? And I look at what the rates, like some of the rates are, right? So this is just grabbed it off the internet, did a quick search for, federal student loan rates, that kind of thing. And I look at the numbers here for the different types of loans, okay? So I say to myself, I got $1,000. I could pay $1,000 of my tuition for that, okay? Or I can get a loan for that $1,000, right? And part of that, the $1,000. So let's say tuition, what is it, $15,000 a year, whatever, $10,000 a year, something like that, okay? So I can either take a loan out for $10,000 or I can take a loan out for $9,000, right? If I put my $1,000 to give my $1,000 to the school, right? Or I can take my $1,000, take my loan out for the full tuition amount, $10,000, let's call it, okay, and take that $1,000 and put it into my mutual fund, right? Okay. Well, now my mutual fund's averaging 11 or 10, whatever, 8, whatever, okay, and I can go get a loan for 5.5. Well, if that's the case, I'm making money, right? I'm not making a ton, but I'm making money. Where if I pay the loan, and I pay the loan, I'm not making money, right? Now I paid that down. I don't have as much to pay back over time, okay? But you look at, you compare the two things that you're looking at, right? Okay. And you say, and you list all the, all the advantages and disadvantages, right? So then let's say I take my $1,000 and put it on my tuition, or I take my $1,000 and I go buy a speaker for my car. Now I look at that and I go, all right, my pros and cons is, well, I just got a speaker and my money's gone, right? Or I put $1,000 on my tuition and I'm going to get a return on that, hopefully, when I graduate. And so you have to look at every financial thing in its own light and compare them, and then say, all right, what one is the best one I should do? All right, and then that's the one you select. One thing about debt, okay, and debt can be used to your benefit, all right, if you know how to use debt, all right? And in today's day and age, you have to know how to use debt, right? So, I'm not a big fan of going, I don't want people to think we're saying, let's go into debt, okay? But if you can use debt to your advantage, there's nothing wrong with it, right? Okay? So just something simple. And there's a bunch, but, here's something that young kids might understand, right? Okay? You need a good credit score, right? If you don't have a good credit score, you are going to pay more for everything you buy the rest of your life, and significantly more than somebody who has a good credit score, right? So, if your credit score is horrible and you go buy a car, you're going to get a much higher interest rate than if I go buy a car and my credit score is awesome. If I go buy my house and my credit score is awful, I'm going to pay much more in interest than a person who doesn't have a bad credit score. And so keeping that credit score good is a huge financial thing, right? And one of the techniques of doing that is you have to build credit, right? So you're going to have to use some debt instruments, right? So if I'm a young kid and I want to start building my credit, I get a credit card, I put a $500 limit on it, and when I have the money to go get something, I take that credit card, I go buy those jeans, I come home and I pay that credit card off. And now I'm starting to build my credit. I'm getting points for using my credit properly, and it's not costing me anything to do it, right? Because if I pay that off within a month, then I don't get any interest charged to me. So that's just one example of using debt to our advantage, right? Okay. I do it with apartments, right? And so real estate and using debt to your advantage is wonderful, right? And that I know this is kind of off the topic of kids and money, but it really isn't, right? You look for, how can I use debt to my advantage, right? Okay. In the apartment world, you never use your own money, right? And the reason you don't use your own money is because your tenants pay your debt, right? And so you let your tenants pay that debt, and you can take a loan out and you're not paying a dime, right? Your tenants are paying that dime. Now, if you don't have tenants, now you're paying a dime, right? Okay. But debt is an advantage, right? But if you're not good with debt, it can be a crusher, right?
And it can pile up quickly.
And it can pile up quickly, right?
Gary, we having you back Monday?
Yes.
Let's pick up there, because there's more to go there, and I want to ask you something about that debt.
All right.
With somebody else that's nationally known who is very much against that.
Right.
Because I think you're right. You have to build that history. Mm-hmm. So we'll pick up there. Great conversation, Gary. Good to see you this morning.
Good to see you too, Luke. Have a good day, everybody.